Anybody out there? We'll see if anyone's on this time. Last time it was only me and Nikki. So we'll see if anyone's out there now. It could be a short one, but if anyone's out there, I know, Mr. Faust, you got your 52 people and everyone counting. Big party. So thumbs up to the Faust party. Just want to BS a little bit. It was a pretty decent day. Got a lot done. The tractor that was giving me problems, I was able to find all the hardware at O'Reilly's. I was surprised. They have a Dorman section that has all the metric hardware, and they actually had M6 by 1.0 screws with flanged heads, and they had the nuts with flanged heads. So that's pretty good. So I see somebody on. So that helped out. I was concerned that I wouldn't find the right metric hardware around here, like Home Depot or Tractor Supply or Lowe's or something like that. So I went online. I looked for flanged nuts because I needed a flanged nut for a Honda. Well, Timmy, what's up, buddy? I'm trying to figure out what to use for that coil tester to show it to you. I was real busy today, but I'm contemplating whether I should just use one of my my Echo Power Heads or something like that so I could show you. But busy today, though, looking for metric hardware, missing metric hardware. When customers try and fix their own stuff, they take it apart and they just throw the screws away and figure, it's whatever, standard screws. Jesse, good evening. How's it going, guys? Yeah, Mr. Faust emailed me, said he's got 52 people at his house, so that must be some party. So 52 and counting, he said. So that ought to be interesting. Anyway, I was working on this tractor today, Craftsman tractor, Kohler Courage 20 horse, which is kind of a junk engine, but hey, it's a customer. And I guess the ex-husband took off the shroud and took off the air filter and threw away all the hardware, all the nuts and screws, even the screws holding the carburetor on the nuts. I mean, the flange nuts were gone. So I actually took the model and spec, went online, Parts Tree or one of those places, looked up the parts, and Kohler was nice. They actually give you the specs. They told me it was an M6 by 1.0 by 25 millimeters long. Problem was they were shoulder screws that hold on, not just regular screws. But as long as they had the flanged head, I don't care. It'll hold it down. So went to online looking at different places. O'Reilly stocked a huge Dorman section with metric hardware. So we have all those auto parts stores are within 5-10 minutes of me. So I dropped by. They had a section, 4 flange nuts for like $4, and you had 4 of the screws for $4. So $8. I was able to put the engine back together. And like I said in my last stream, the 20 amp hidden fuse that you see on a lot of these lawn tractors was blown. So once I put the fuse on, the anti-dieseling solenoid kicked on, the fuel went into the carb, the starter solenoid worked, and it ran great. The blades on it are in good shape. There's only 50 hours on the tractor. Didn't have any oil in it, so I had to put oil in it. So I don't know how people do that. They have no oil in it, and then they say, I don't know why it's ticking or why it's running crazy. Crazy. Yeah, that tire thing blew my mind because I bought a tube, I put it in, I went to put air in it, and it looked like a hernia. Just blew out between the rim and the thing. And I see this wire. I go, the heck is that? It was the actual bead wire. So I luckily deflated the tube because I want to pop the tube with the wire. And then I started pulling the wire out, and about 2-3 feet of wire came out. But once I took that wire out, the tire went, and it just like expanded because there's nothing to hold it in its shape to the 4-inch rim diameter. So bad tire. Anyway, I don't know how they did that. I'm amazed at, unless they ran something over that got in between the rim and the bead. I don't know. But anyway, got a new tire for it, got a new tube for it. I actually delivered that to her a few hours ago, put it on her Freightan leaf blower. She's all happy, and she's the one with this tractor too. So like I said, getting that running, I was very, very happy with that because those Kohler Courage engines, this guy even went so far as to take off the return spring that pulled the choke back to keep it open. I don't know why he would do that. He pulled it back, and it actually, without this spring, the choke, when you put it on, the linkage on the governor pushes the choke closed. And then when you pull the throttle back past the choke position into high speed, the choke's supposed to spring return back. Well, there was no return spring. It was gone. So I looked online. It actually showed a spring. So there was an actual spring, but there was no, nothing there. So I always have springs. I stock one of those Harbor Freight kits. Nikki, haven't seen you in a few hours. Anyway, I stock springs, extension springs, compression springs all the time. So what I did was I just took an extension spring I had, I hooked up, worked great. Thing ran great. It didn't have much gas in it, so I put some fresh fuel in it. But I tell you, the push mower is still giving me fits. I was telling Nikki before, I got to hook up my ultrasonic tank tomorrow and give that thing a blast. Somebody, one of the guys from Small Engine Nation chimed in and said, look at the gaskets, because if there were any loose gaskets or anything, I could have a vacuum leak. And I tightened them pretty good, and they were pretty new. There wasn't a lot of hours on this motor, but I'll check tomorrow with some like a spray cleaner or something. I'll spray around the gaskets and see if it kills the engine. That'll tell me if the gaskets are bad. But right now it's driving me crazy because it's hunting, and I took out the main jet, I took out the pilot jet, I did all that, and that's what you do to solve the hunting problem, and it didn't solve the problem. So I don't know, it's driving me crazy. I got to make sure I get to that tomorrow. But now that she has her tractor, she doesn't need the push mower, so that at least she'll be able to cut her grass. That's the main thing. 12:30 a.m. Hey, late night, Nick, but yeah, Tim, like I said, I'll see if I can get something going with that spark tester. Actually, the brand is Oppama, 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 made in Japan. They private label for everyone. Steel, Echo, they all use the same tester, made in Japan by Oppama. In fact, the directions you get with the tester are in Japanese. So just so you know, it doesn't matter whose you buy, the directions are in Japanese. So all I know is I saw a video on it one time. I think it was, who was it? 65 Ford or... no, Double Wide Six. Double Wide Six used it in one of his videos too. So it's just a great tester. I mean, you can actually open up the gap to see how good your coil is. But one thing to remember, guys, too, make sure the spark is blue. If it's white or bluish spark, that's good. If it's orange, yellowish spark, not good. It means it's not powerful. So I know, Nikki, you're having trouble doing that. Yeah, surging is a pain. I mean, but put it this way. These engines, though, I know for a fact, even with Hondas, when you get surging, you clean the pilot jet. These Kohler carburetors are diehard copies of the GCV 160 Honda engines, the exact same looking carb. It's got that pilot jet that gets held in by the idle screw, and then you pop it out, and there's a hole that's literally, it's probably under 10 thousandths. I think the wire I was using was 6 or 8 thousandths in diameter, but that's how small it is. In fact, sometimes you'll actually have to take like a wire brush with a pair of pliers and pull a wire off a wire brush, because that's how thin this stuff is. Very, very thin. Doesn't take much. If that jet is plugged, you're in trouble. So that's all. Today, what did I do today? I picked up a 1958 Wheel Horse RJ first thing in the morning after breakfast. About 30 miles away from here. I have to get that thing tuned up for a friend who's having a sheep shearing party next week. He's got a banjo player and some other people, so that ought to be fun. Sort of like a bluegrass thing. He's got a little farm down there. So he wants his 1958 Wheel Horse running great for the kids to do little hay rides. So I'm going to get that going. I did that. This tractor I did that push mower. I did one chainsaw. I just did a quick tune-up for somebody, and I replaced some fuel lines on another one. The rest of the time I spent either traveling for parts or looking online trying to get parts or chatting. So been a busy day, but productive though. At least the tractor's done. I can get paid for that tomorrow. The problem is tomorrow's going to be a rainy day, very rainy day. And, you deliver something in the pouring rain, not the best thing. How you get to demonstrate grass cutting in the pouring rain, but whatever. I cut my grass with it. So, hey, that's one thing I can tell you guys about doing small engines. Every week, when you have someone's equipment, you never have to have equipment. You use someone else's equipment every week. Use their trimmers, use their cutters, use their tractors. So I really don't need anything because I always have someone's here every day. Same thing with snow blowers. I'm always working on somebody. So, I always have something to use. So, but yeah, well, tomorrow, actually, I have to go into work tomorrow, probably about 5:30 in the morning. I've got guys coming in from like 6 to 11 tomorrow. So I got to make sure that everything's all straightened out at work. So I got to be up probably around 4:30. So no big deal. I usually get up before 4:30 anyway. I'm in work normally every day by 6. So it's I usually work like 6 to 4, and then I come home and do small engines for 3 to 5 hours. And then I eat dinner, watch a little TV, and pass out. That's my day. But anyhow, Timmy, what do we got here? On some Briggs engines, we should just replace cheaper to replace. And on the Tecumsehs too, the money hole. We call it the money hole, that little hole that's about 20 thousandths that goes at a 45-degree angle on the top of the Tecumseh bull nuts. We always call those the money hole because without those holes clear, it will not idle, and sometimes it won't even start. On the Briggs, though, on some of those jet nuts, you got to watch too because the numbers, they're different size jets too. I've been drilling out a few of those too just to get some better flow. It seems like a lot of this ethanol fuel doesn't like to burn good. So I enlarge those jets. I should stock them, but they're cheap enough. No big deal. The only thing is on the old Tecumsehs, what the heck is it? LMV carbs? The LMB, I think it is, where the jet itself has the new jet has a notch in it so they could be put in any position you want. The old jets on the old Tecumseh HH engines, the jet itself has a solid thread on the top. And if you don't line it up perfect, it won't flow fuel. They did away with that in future engines by putting an undercut on the threads on top so that no matter where you rotated the jet in its final resting spot, the hull would see fuel. So anyone that's playing with an old Tecumseh HH or any of those engines, the old horizontal iron Tecumsehs, jet issues with those carburetors. If you don't know it, there is jet issues. So tomorrow, what's tomorrow? Mantis tiller, a Tecumseh engine, Troy built tiller. This ultrasonic tank, I'm going to take that out and get that fired up. I got my new 9-liter tank that I bought. Same one like Maddie and James, or no, it was Bruce Pender and Musty One. They all had the same 9-liter tank from China. So I bought the same one they have. I had a Harbor Freight one for years, but it was cheap and plastic. And I think I told the story before. I didn't realize it. I had a plastic tray in there. I was going to clean out a carburetor, so I put a carburetor in there from a McCulloch. I put the solvent in instead of just putting water. I put solvent in there, not knowing it. It dissolved the plastic tray, and I had what looked like Elmer's glue in the ultrasonic tank. So therefore, I ruined the carburetor, ruined the ultrasonic cleaner, and that's why I had to buy a new one. So live and learn. Don't put Berryman's carb cleaner in an ultrasonic tank with a plastic tray. Always use a stainless steel tray. So live and learn. Expensive lesson, but what do you do? What else is going on, guys? Let's chat. What's going on? Jesse, we got picked up a free golf cart. How many batteries, though, Jess? Those things are expensive because a buddy of mine just picked one up and it took 12 batteries and each battery was like $90. So nice to have. Don't get me wrong. They're really nice, but sometimes those batteries can really cost you. And make sure you have a charger for it too. Sometimes the chargers are built in, but sometimes if you don't have the charger, they're expensive too. Most of the time they use like marine deep cycle batteries so they can hold the charge a long time. Yeah, just make sure you got good batteries and they're wired correctly. Gearbox work. Yeah, years ago I probably did. Yeah, I'm sure I did. I like working on gearboxes. They're not too bad. In fact, I just rebuilt a Peerless 700-70 gearbox for somebody with a Skag. He broke he sheared his keys off, and 2 of the gears were broken. And then over the winter, I did a gearbox in a Toro Power Shift. Those are fun. They're similar to a Peerless type box. There's about 150 parts in it, but that one, he actually blew the bevel gears by shifting on the fly. So it was about $90 for the bevel gear kit, the input bevel gear and the forward reverse bevel gear. It comes as a set for about $90. So he was happy. He wasn't able to move. The machine didn't move for like a year or two. Now he's got forward and reverse. The power shift works. He's happy. So, man, never mistake. There you go. Hey, live and learn. You got to learn something every day. That's how you learn by your mistakes. Hopefully you learn. Hopefully you find a solution. But like I said before, you guys, you look on YouTube and the internet, you can have a solution to anything, basically. 90% of the time, someone has done or had the same problem that we've had doing something. So you can always talk to somebody and all these forums between the small engine forums, Arborist Site, Forest, all those ones. I mean, there's always somebody to talk to, what else is going on? I'm doing all the talking. What else is going on, guys? Oh, I went to dinner tonight. Everyone was gone. So there's a place, a guy by me has a truck. It's called 900 Degree Pizza Truck. And he has I don't know if it's gas or how it's fired, but his oven is literally 900 degrees. He will make you a pizza in 5 to 6 minutes. So when you call up, you better be 5 minutes away or else it's going to be cold. So I called him up and I was literally 4 minutes away. And he goes, 5 minutes. And I get there. And as soon as I get there, literally 4 minutes, I think it was 4 minutes, 52 seconds because I had my phone on. 4 minutes, 52 seconds. I walk up, he handed it to me in the box. And that was funny. But dynamite, white clam pie. Unbelievable. You know, do you know a free site to get service? Which one, Jess? I go on Manuals Lib, MANUALSLIB, Manuals Lib. That one is a manuals library and it has all free PDF manuals, a lot of stuff, but it depends on the brand. A lot of times, if you look on the International Harvester Cub Cadet sites, you can get their manuals. They have a section. The Weekend Freedom Machines for John Deere tractors, they have a section, WFM section for manuals. Manufacturers, Toro has an excellent section with service manuals if you're looking at Toro equipment, and includes their engines as well. Kohler, the Kohler site, it's called Kohler Plus. Service manuals for every Kohler is on there. The only one, and Tecumseh too, you type in Tecumseh manual, Outdoor Power, it's called Outdoor Power. They have all the manuals for those. The only one that's a pain in the butt is Briggs. For some reason, I see some Briggs manuals on here for free downloads, and I've done it too. But most of the time, the newer Briggs, they want you to pay for them. It's funny. So which one are you looking for, Jess? Which one in particular? Hopefully I could steer you in the right direction. Most of them are available, like I said, except for certain Briggs manuals. Don't know why, but I don't see a lot of uploads on those. Let's see, knowing the right thing to do, scans from not knowing what to do. Dirt bikes. Try Manuals Lib. I mean, if you're looking for a particular, whatever. In fact, Nikki, you may even be able to help because I don't know if you're into street bikes or dirt bikes, Nick. That 400 you were talking about, I think you said it was a street bike. Honda, Kawasaki. Depends on if you're looking for like an engine manual or a service manual for the actual bike itself. Just type whatever the model is, and then at the end of that, put the letters PDF and see what you get. Or put whatever the model is, then PDF download or PDF free and see what you get. You may luck out. Sometimes you get a site that is geared toward a particular type of bike, and they have members that will upload them for free. Or if you email them, they'll email them to you. So do that. That's what I always do. I always put a model number and then put PDF. I'll put, like, for example, Briggs, yada, 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 service PDF. And sometimes it comes up and sometimes I could find it. So, yeah, it all depends on how you search and how your search engines are. I mean, Google is a good search. There's a lot of different ways to search for things, but chances are if you go to a forum that specializes in the type of bike you're talking about, whether it's Cowie, Honda, whatever, go to a forum that specializes in those. Chances are they'll have uploads on their forum, free manual uploads, or they will send you something because most of the time people on those forums, just like we do, we like to help each other. And they're always glad to share stuff, Yep. Yeah, it's all on how you search for it. If you search the right thing, it all depends on how someone titled it and saved it. So, but I've downloaded tons of manuals over the years, but now because of laptops and things like this. Oh, by the way, anyone interested in the Chromebook I'm using, I got it on sale the other day for $179. I think the list price was $249. It was on sale $179. One of my guys at work that works for me wanted one of these as well. The sale was over, but he went online to Best Buy. Now he got the exact same one as me for $159. Shipped free to his house. So he even made out better than me. So, hey, for $160 ship, wow. It's a nice Chromebook. You got a beautiful HD camera for YouTube and stuff. You get the Google searches, all the Google apps. So it's a good buy. I think it's pretty good. I recommend it. Oh, what do we got here? Hoping that the only easy way to find them. Yeah, 30. Well, yeah, $30 though. But you know what? I'll be honest with you. Just if you're working on something and you spend an hour of your time doing something, isn't that worth $30? I mean, the shops around here getting $100 an hour. What's your time worth? $30 isn't that crazy if you're going to do a lot of work yourself and not spend the money at a dealer. So it may be worth the investment if it's something you're going to work on a lot and spend some decent money and time on it. So sometimes you got to pony up, spend the money. So it all depends. And it depends too. I don't know how old you are, Jess. I mean, some people, if a kid emails me and he's 14 years old, he's not going to have 30 bucks in his pocket to spend on a manual. So, you have to look at different things too, you know. 44, yeah. 5 kids. See, so you're old enough, but see, now that you say 5 kids, now I know where the money goes. So my kids are grown. I only have two, but yeah, the put it this way, they get older, the bills get bigger. But anyway, um, yeah, just do Haynes. Yeah, hey, actually, that guy just passed away. I think about 3 months ago. Haynes, the guy who invented the Haynes manuals, he was a crazy guy too. He took pictures of everything. Those manuals sometimes are even better than the factory manuals. Some of the photos they have. Haynes made some really cool. You had Haynes, Chilton, Climber, all the different manuals, tons of them. And I remember because I used to work on cars years ago, so I used to use them all the time, especially the old Chilton manuals. But let's see. What's it doing down there, Timmy? Any rain or anything? We're supposed to get some more today. I'm wondering if it's coming from you guys. 44 is not old. Not for me. I mean, I got 11 years on you, so. Thought he was in the 60s. That's good. Let's see. Oh, he's fixing them. Oh, so, straight. Ooh, that's not fun. Straight gassing is not fun. You know. But hopefully, it's just clean up some of the carnage and put a new set of rings in. So 44. I wish that was 11 years ago. I wish if I could turn back time, right? 45. You guys are still babies. You kidding me? 45. You're just starting to live. You're only halfway done with life. Anyway, not even middle age yet until you hit the half century mark. Boy. Speaking of half century mark, where's what's his name? Dr. O. Is he playing hooky today? He hasn't done a video in a couple days. I hope he's just not waiting to get his parts. YZ 250. Oh, YZ's pretty cool. Yeah, that's a good bike. Who came? Hey, Timmy, was it you? Who? Sorry. Excuse me. Who came on yesterday asking me if I worked on Yazoo's? Was that Timmy? Because I have worked on Yazoo's before. I worked on a 48-inch. It was weird. The Yazoo's have that strange color. It's like a cranberry color and I think a yellow color. Timmy, why? You're older than me, Tim? What did you say, Tim? 56? Excuse me. Oof. Hold on. A little bit of reflux there. Hold on. I don't see a lot of Yazoos, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's a southern thing or if it's not around here in the Northeast, but the last Yazoo I worked on was actually a guy that moved here from, I think it was upstate New York, but I don't see any dealers around here. I don't even know if they make them anymore. I knew it was a popular brand. Oh, climb telephone poles. You know what, Jess? My father was a lineman for the local utility company. He actually climbed poles with spikes from 1956 until the early 80s when they got bucket trucks. So they were all built like pro wrestlers. It looked like Hulk Hogan and the gang every time they came over for lunch because they all were built. I mean, they had to be. They were carrying 150 pounds of gear on them. I mean, they were the heroes. I mean, linemen were the heroes. And, now you got bucket trucks and stuff, so anyone can do it. But I tell you, working with, 40,000 volts up there during a rainstorm and a hurricane, I give linemen the thumbs up. Like I said, my dad was one, and I give all of them all the credit in the world. They're the bravest guys, and they're very, very courageous and strong guys to be a lineman. Let's see. 58. Still young. I'll be 56, so you only got a couple years on me. Let's see. Well, another year and a half, Tim. Then you can start deducting from your 401 and get some real saws and hot rods and all that stuff. That's what someone told me the other day. Oh, once you hit 59 and a half, then you can start taking out your 401k money. So that'll be interesting. Ever see lineman out the door with chopper? Lineman out the door of a chopper on YouTube? No, I didn't see that. Hey, there's James. How are you and the 52 people, James? Everything going well? How's the party going? What was the occasion, James? I'm trying to think. Oh, it's the Russian Easter today, isn't it? The Orthodox Easter. My grandmother was Baranovsky, so she used to celebrate the Russian Orthodox Easter every year. So happy Easter to those who are celebrating the Orthodox Easter. Pizza Saturday, not with grandkids. Working out the door of a hell. Oh yeah, that's crazy. Those guys that do that, yeah, that is real nuts. When you're up that high, that is crazy. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, my father, I think the craziest he ever did was a ladder that was, I think, 40 feet to go up to a pole in a snowstorm to fix a transformer using a wooden ladder back in the 50s. But other than that, But the sad thing is, he had a few friends of his that got killed when they had like pinholes in their rubber gloves, and it found ground and it found them, and it just boiled their blood, and that was it. I mean, scary stuff. But that's why I say give a lot of credit to linemen. It's a dangerous job, and I know they're safe. They're trying to be safe, but you know what? Electricity has no friends. I mean, when it wants you, it takes you. So, what else is going on, guys? What else is going on? Yeah, James, I was saying Pizza Saturday. We have a place. Actually, it's a truck about 3 or 4 miles away from me called 900 Degree Pizza Truck. And he actually has an oven at 900 degrees, and he cooks you a pizza in about 5 minutes. So I called up roughly 4 or 5 minutes away from him. He cooked me a pizza, and then when I got there, I think it was 4 minutes, 52 seconds. He handed it to me. He said, "Here you go. Nice white clam pizza. It's very good. Got half of it sitting in the oven. So the kids will probably finish that up. Anyway, anything else, guys? I'm hitting 27 minutes. Anything you want to talk about? Otherwise, I will bid you adieu for tonight, and hopefully we'll see somebody else on here. Did you notice the last clip? Cable. As long as you're not grounded, Nikki, you won't get a shock. That's why birds don't get grounded when they're standing on wires. You have to be grounded. The problem is, if you notice, the ladders and all the bucket trucks and stuff like that the linemen use are all made of fiberglass, or they're fiberglass coated, something that's non-conductive, and that way it won't, go to ground. Or there'll be different ground arresting cables and stuff built in, so that if they do get struck, it finds a faster path to ground than going through them. So they're designed that way. The vehicles are designed that way, and things like that. So there are safety things. How do they get down? Yeah, that's the thing. Especially if you're in a chopper, right? Yeah, that's something else. I think I saw a video on that one time. My father used to talk about that, but that's more in the Midwest, where you're stringing those wires for miles at a time, and the guys have to replace the insulators every couple of years. It's a hell of a thing. And the guys that do these cell towers that climb by hand, quarter mile up in the air. I mean, you got to have some real serious cojones to do that. Just look at the old Empire State Building videos when they built that. There were a lot of Indians, Native Americans that built that. They weren't afraid of heights. You see them out in the I-beams, 3 miles up, 2 miles up, whatever it was, eating their sandwich on the end of an I-beam. No safety wire. So anyway, yeah, I tell you, there are a lot of heroes out there. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm going to call it quits for tonight. Hopefully Maddie or somebody else will be on later. Tomorrow, hopefully I can get some more videos going. It's going to be a rainy day, so maybe I'll get some chainsaw working downstairs. I got to clean the shop. It's really filthy, but good talking to everyone. It's a nice day, still a nice day out.
Bye,
and
Nikki. Bye, Tim.
My kids are saying goodbye to Nikki, Tim, and everybody. So goodbye, all. We will talk to you guys later. Nikki, go to bed. It's almost 1. It's 1 o'clock in the morning there, Nick. So, all right, we'll talk to you guys later. I'm ending it. You got any questions, comments, email me, comment me, whatever you need to do, and I will get back to you. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.